I was on YouTube and I saw this video clip about whether or not black people sunburn. And, if you Google it, it really isn't a ton of information on it. And uh, I know that we do sunburn. I'm fair skinned, for a black guy, but, and I don't sunburn easily at all. Like, I don't ever use sunscreen or sunblock or whatever it's called. I don't know. I never buy it. I never use it. And I've gone outside and been outside for 10 hours, 12 hours straight the entire day from sunup to sundown with no shirt on, screwing around, playing basketball, working for my mom in the yard, doing landscaping and stuff. And I've never got any peeling except, like maybe the tip of my nose or the tops of my ears. And I'm sure that there is a point at which I would sunburn because the peeling did start, but I've never had like sensitivity to touch and, stuff like that, from being in the sun too long, but I'm sure it can happen. But one of the things I noticed was that you had all of these people chiming in, and conversation, really quickly became racial because there were some racial elements in the video. And, I think people everybody's too sensitive about racism. Like, there's a problem with a lot of the institutions in America in terms of racism, and it's a very real problem. But in between people, just being themselves, for everybody to have to watch what they say and watch what they do so much, it just kind of seems ridiculous, And I try to go out of my way with my white friends to let them know that I'm not going to be super sensitive, to something that they might say that's insensitive, as long as, their intention isn't to try to offend me or slide some racist shit by on me, Not everybody, grows up being trained in how not to be, racist or whatever, or be completely sensitive to everybody's social situation and background. And a lot of times people are speaking and, they're talking about things that they feel that maybe they haven't really thought out, and had they thought it out, they might feel a different way about it, or they're regurgitating information that they got from somewhere else and they don't realize whether or not it's sensitive. And to think that this is a way to peer in and to figure out if that person is really a closet racist is really unfair to anybody you do it to. And I think it's really unfair to white people. And it's making a falseness where, a lot of people just aren't really able to establish an open dialogue with each other, which I think is going to help people and help evolve us as a society more so than trying to make sure, whites and, other groups of people never say anything that, might make a black person or anybody else for that matter feel bad. I think it's ridiculous to think that type of, unrealistic communication environment is better for the evolution of our society than it is to have just open dialogue about how you feel and what you think is right and, how you see things. Now, intelligence and discretion come into play, when you're talking to people about things that could have a racial, tone to them, because not everything you think and feel is valid, even though I know your mama told you were special, but that doesn't mean everything that pops into your mind needs to be said, so this doesn't give anybody license to be a Caucasaurus Rex or some shit like that. But I am saying that, you should be able to talk openly with people, about things, as long as there's some amount of intelligence to your conversation. The person you're talking to, they shouldn't automatically assume that they're really peering down a rabbit hole and seeing that you're racist. Because I think this whole racism thing is so out of control that people can't even have preferences anymore. That if you prefer things, a particular way, or prefer to be around a type of person or a type of people, people are assuming that an individual could be racist, because of that. And I don't think that's fair either, If you took, an African American and set him around a whole bunch of Chinese folks that, were very strict to their culture, you might find that person might be uncomfortable too, and that doesn't mean he's racist with Chinese folks or anyone else. It may just be that he doesn't understand their customs and culture, or it just doesn't fit his social palette, where he has to watch what he says and does, or he can't be enough of himself. And I don't think that a white person that, you know, doesn't particularly care to be around black folks necessarily mean that he looks down on them, you know. But, you know, there are certain things that have become a motif in black culture that we even make jokes out of, that are stereotypes that do have an iota of truth to them. And, you know, I can't blame a white person to want to avoid some of that stuff some of the time. I can't, you know. I can't. So I think that people are overly sensitive about it. I think that that dilutes and muddles the dialogue that is really going to help us to continue to evolve our culture, where our kids and our children's children, our children's children's children are going to be able to continue to work out these issues that we've created and that have existed for a long time. And you know, I just want to try to encourage open dialogue, and that's why I made this video. And I also made the video to hopefully shed some light and chime in on whether or not black folks sunburn. We do, but the melanin in our skin protects us for a lot longer in the sun than if you don't have any melanin, which typically means you're not black. So, hope that helps. And you know, if you listen, great. And if you didn't, that's great too. Cool.